Hello and welcome to the Grove. Today we'll be looking at Skarner, the Primordial Sovereign. The ancient, colossal Bracker in Skarner is revered in Ixtal as one of the founding members of its ruling caste, the Ixtal. Devoted to keeping his nation safe from the rest of the world, Skarner dwells in a chamber beneath Ixtal Khan, where he can hear the vibrations of the earth and detect potential threats. As more members of the Ixtal begin questioning Ixtal's self-isolation, Skarner grows increasingly paranoid and will do anything to keep Ixtal and its people safe, no matter the cost. Skarner is a champion of Ixtal. Renowned for its mastery of elemental magic, Ixtal was one of the first independent nations to join the Shuriman Empire. In truth, Ixtali culture is much older, part of the great westward diaspora that gave rise to civilizations including the Buhru, magnificent Helia, and the aspects of Targon, and it is likely they played a significant role in the creation of the first Ascended. But the mages of Ixtal survived the Void, and later the Darken, by distancing themselves from their neighbors, drawing the wilderness around them like a shield. While much had already been lost, they were committed to the preservation of what little remained. Now, secluded deep in the jungle for thousands of years, the sophisticated archaeology city of Ixtal Khan remains mostly free of outside influence. Having witnessed from afar the ruination of the Blessed Isles and the rune wars that followed, the Ixtali view all the other factions of Runeterra as upstarts and pretenders, and use their powerful magic to keep any intruders at bay. All Ixtali grow up hearing the name Skarner, the ancient protector of Ixtal, the Brackern who shaped the earth itself and built the first archaeologies. His visage is painted in reliefs and immortalized in the annals of Ixtal's history, a myth still honored and revered. But deep beneath the cardinal archaeology of Ixtal Khan is the chamber where Skarner dwells. There, he listens to the vibrations of the earth above him, listens and waits. Skarner's myth began millennia ago. Born to the Brackern clan Opalhen, he was a progeny of the legendary broodmother Nishali. While the other Bracklings in his brood left the safety of Nishali's back, Skarner chose to linger, his unease and curiosity driving him to study her power and wisdom. Observation soon evolved into ingenuity. Unlike his broodmates, Skarner honed the Brackern's innate control of Earth and perfected the art of reading underground vibrational patterns, allowing him to sense and decipher faraway movements. When Skarner was older, it was through these vibrations that he detected a dramatic shift in the continent, marked by the arrival of settlers from the east. Clan Opalhen did not trust these newcomers, but Skarner's curiosity could not be suppressed. He needed to know what made them tick. He surveyed these Ixtali people. They were born, they toiled, they died. There 1 second and gone the next. However, through his observations, Skarner saw that they used what limited time they had to build, create, and invent. Their existence fascinated him until he discovered just how fragile they truly were. When a nearby rock slide threatened to destroy the burgeoning Ixtali settlement, Skarner, wanting to preserve the subjects of his observation, intervened. Emerging from the jungle, he towered over the people and used his physical strength and command of the earth to pulverize the rockslide before it could touch the village. As the dust cleared, the Ixtali gazed upon the savior in awestruck reverence and gratitude. With Skarner, a protectiveness began to stir. These fragile beings could not survive without him. He no longer observed the Ixtali from afar, and so he became more involved with them. Skarner spent less time with his clan. The humans became his permanent project, and their nation, his new home. The relationship he formed with the early Ixtali was one of exchange. The Ixtali shared their culture and history, and Skarner used his earthen prowess to help build the cardinal archaeology of Ixtal Khan, where the planet's lines of power connected. But Skarner's greatest contribution was as a founding member of the civilization's ruling caste. Combining Ixtali's scientific mindset and the collectivist culture of the Brackern, the Ixtal's goal was to lead its people into a bright future. So it was through Skarner's protection that Ixtal flourished. Outside of Ixtal, the Shuriman Empire extended its reach, and Skarner watched as Ascendants stormed the continent. His belief in the resourcefulness of mortals was shattered as he saw the darker side of humanity. Corruption, driven by a lust for power. Skarner could sense the building tension in Shurima. He was vocal about his distrust, but when the Shuriman Empire invited Ixtal to form an alliance, the Ixtal eagerly accepted. With the Acathian rebellion, he was vindicated, but at the cost of many lives. By the time the Shuriman Empire collapsed and Ixtal regained its independence, Skarner had nothing but disgust left for the world outside their jungle. A wasteland of pain and suffering. A wasteland made even worse by the Rune Wars. Witnessing such destruction, Skarner finally convinced the Ixtal to withdraw from the world, shielding their lands with magic and lies to hide themselves away. But his faith in the Ixtal was shaken. Where they'd failed to keep the Ixtali safe, Skarner would not. Now knowing that only he could protect the Ixtali, Skarner constructed himself an underground chamber below Ixtal Khan, designed to amplify the vibrational threads across the continent. Every thrum spoke to another threat to Ixtal's safety, but he could also hear the steady noise of Ixtal above him, proof that, through his sovereignty, the city continued to survive. There, he listened and waited. Deep, deep beneath the dark earth, his paranoia festered until, over time, vigilance gave way to seclusion, and he ceased leaving his chamber altogether. To the Ixtali above ground, Skarner slowly faded from memory into myth, his presence known only by the Ixtal who traveled underground to confer with him about Ixtal's future. Now, as new generations of elemental masters join the Ixtal, discussions have begun about the possibility of rejoining the world once more. Skarner hears these whispers, which spur his paranoia, as he knows that opening the door will invite pain, suffering, and death like it did generations ago. The only one Skarner can trust is himself, and he'll do anything to protect Ixtal and its people, even if that means becoming the root of their destruction, himself.
I am Skarner of Clan Opaline, progeny of Brood Mother Nishale, and I will be your undoing.